how's it going? I'm Dan Olson for Jag TV, and I'm here with Dave from Theory of a Dead Man.
What's happening?
They're playing here at Mobile's Soul Kitchen downtown, and I just want to ask them a few questions, get a little information.
Let's do it.
Can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
My name's Dave. I play guitar in the rock band, the rock and roll band, Theory of a Dead Man.
For those who aren't familiar with your sound, how would you describe Theory of a Dead Man?
I do a very generic description whenever I'm asked that question. I always like to just say we're a rock and roll band. I think that nowadays music has too many separations and genres, and I feel like, you know what, let's just be a rock and roll band.
Just all have fun playing music.
And just get along with all the other rock bands, because that way, you know, it's not the emo bands hating these people and these people hating these people. Let's just all group us together and be rock and roll bands. So that's what I say.
Tear down the walls.
That's right, man. Tear down the walls.
That's cool. What inspired you guys to start playing?
Well, what inspired me to start playing, I obviously had some music in the family. My dad used to strum a guitar and sing, and he does mostly karaoke now, but I used to grow up listening to him jamming with his buddies, and I always loved it, but I didn't really ever pick up a guitar until I heard a band called Alice in Chains.
Nice.
And I heard this band, and I was like, man, I gotta know how to play it. So I got a guitar, and I started learning how to play Alice in Chains songs. And I pretty much learned how to play guitar just playing those riffs, and then once I knew enough to play, I just wanted to start writing. So
that's cool, good stuff. Where did you guys come up with the name Theory of a Dead Man?
Theory of a Dead Man used to be a title for a track on our first record, which is now titled The Last Song, and we actually sort of had a record deal before we even had a band name, actually. And it was, I think, Dean's suggestion. We did some pre-production and changed the title from Theory of a Dead Man to The Last Song. And we had this phrase, Theory of a Dead Man, that we all really liked, and Dean said, why don't we use it for our band name? And we said, sounds good. So that's kind of how it started.
Sounded good, so it worked.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, your latest album came out. Was there a concept behind the album?
Not so much a concept. I mean, I think this being our third record, we're starting to feel a little bit more like veterans, like we've been doing this a while, and we know what we like, and we think we know what the fans of our band like, and we just went into a room and we did a lot more pre-production for this record, where we just jammed like every day in a really, really cool room in Los Angeles that was surrounded by all these other amazing bands jamming at the same time.
Right.
Velvet Revolver was in a room next to us. All kinds of people, man.
So it was a good creative environment.
It was a really good creative environment, and we just jammed, and the songs just sort of came. It was the easiest record to write, but also I think the most rewarding.
Most rewarding so far. Very good. What was the name of the album?
That's our current album, Scars and Souvenirs.
Scars and Souvenirs. It's on sale now.
It's on sale now,
through Brenner Records. And let's see, just a couple more questions.
Sure.
What was the story behind Theory of a Dead Man getting signed to Brenner Records?
Initially, it was it's tough industry these days. It's kind of like one of those right place at the right times. If you want to get in, you only kind of get one chance. So. I think it was Tyler got a demo CD of the band's in the hands of this girl who at the time was dating Chad Kruger, the singer from Nickelback.
Right.
And don't know whatever happened. We just kind of figured nothing happened, and then about 6 months later, he called Tyler out of the blue and said, "Hey, I want to do some pre-production with you guys and record a couple songs and try to get you guys a record deal." And we're like, awesome. So we just called in, Sunday night we got this call and called our bosses and said we needed the week off of work. And it was one of those tough things where your boss is like, well, what are you talking about? It's Sunday night, you can't have the week off. And it was like, well, it's either you give it to me or I take it. Like I said, one opportunity is sometimes all you get. So we jumped on it. We went and we recorded a couple songs. And we got a little bit of interest from some labels, and one of the labels was Atlantic Records. And they actually approached us about recording a couple more songs, and they'd pay for it and get us in the studio. And we recorded 2 more songs, and after we recorded those 2 songs, there was a lot of interest. And I remember playing in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, where we're from, in a great room called the Parlor Mob, and there was probably 7 or 8 labels there, and we just played for them, and then went and talked to them and shook hands and met people and met a guy at Roadrunner, and it just sort of seemed like the best label choice for us. They're one of those labels that's really into developing artists, and you know, it's tough. You don't know how people are going to react to your music. I mean, you can sign with these major labels, and if you don't have a smash hit right out of the gate, they just drop you. You know, so we were looking at trying to find a label that would be interested in developing us the way we wanted to develop ourselves, and Roadrunner was the one the label to go with. So
a good track record already.
Yeah, I mean, we've got doing a third record. Just finished our third record, Scars and Souvenirs, with them. So and I feel like there's been growth every time, and that's important. And they've been behind us. So
it's very good. One last thing for any musicians in college right now, or even not in college, just for anyone looking into breaking into the music industry, what advice would you have for them?
Well, I think for the most part, it's fully committing to what you want to do. For people that want to write songs and play in bands, original bands, my advice to them is to just concentrate the most on writing good songs, because in the end, you know, it doesn't matter what you look like or how good your stage presence is. If you got crappy songs, nobody cares. So I mean, the most important thing about, you know, bands being creative is to just continue to write more and more until you get better and better, and your songs get better.
Commit to your art.
You got to commit to it like 100%. I remember getting pressure early on from my parents about getting into some schooling and stuff, and it wasn't something that I didn't want to do. It was something I didn't want to do at that time. I said, you know, I got to commit to this, and every step I take in a direction away from music is one step I'm further away from what I'm trying to attain.
Right.
So to me, it was just committing.
Things are working out so far.
And so far, things have been working out. So
that's really good. Well, thank you, Dave. Theory of a Dead Man.
Thank you.
Your new album out, Scars and
Souvenirs.
Scars and Souvenirs. Through Roadrunner Records. This Jag TV, Rock on Jag. Thank you.